Okay, so you want to work in Korea, but you're not a Korean citizen. Number one problem for anyone in any country is getting a proper work visa. And sorry to tell you, it is not that easy. Because just like in your country, you basically have to prove that you're a better hire than any Korean person that they can find in Korea. Of course, if you have a lot of experience, a lot of skill, then yeah, you might be able to find a job easily. But if you're some college student that really wants to work in Korea, but really don't have anything much to offer, then not a lot of Korean companies will be willing to give you that visa. There's a lot of unemployed Korean kids too. And the government makes laws so that Korean citizens get jobs first before foreign people. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. My sister's been begging me to take her son. I really don't wanna hire him. Come on, give me a couple of reasons why I should hire you. Well, sir, if you look at my resume, you can see that I love K-pop. And Korean food is also my favorite food. I also think Korean women are very, very attractive. Ooh, okay. Work experience? You have some work experience? Come on, a little something? Yes, sir, I do. I have 4 years of experience sweeping up hair at the Korean salon in my neighborhood. I worked there to practice on my Korean. Oh, okay, you speak Korean. Okay, yeah, that might help. Tell me, how good is your Korean? Well, sir, if you look at my resume, you can see that I'm level 1 in my university. That means I can order food at a restaurant, tell you that a dog is wearing a coat, and that the cheese is in the bathroom. 야, 너 내일부터 일해? 삼촌! Okay, so you basically have no job skills, no work experience, and you can't even speak Korean that well. Well, if you want to work in Korea, you still have a chance. You can teach English. They give you free housing, they give you free airfare, and you make a decent amount of money. If you're coming straight from college to Korea, I think it's a pretty good first job. Personally, I really recommend people to come to Korea, teach for a year, and, just have a good time. Basically, the requirements are you have to be a college graduate and you have to come from these countries. And yeah, I know all you Singaporeans, Filipinos, Indians are gonna be like, yo, I could do the same job too. Yeah, I know you can. You probably could do it better than I can. Yo, after living here for so many years, my English ain't the best. So you might be the best teacher of the alphabet in the entire world. There's nothing I can really do about it. It's the government that gives out these visas, and the government says you have to be from these countries. Sorry, I don't know what to say. Sorry? It's the government. If you want to teach other languages in Korea, you might be able to find work, but it's not the easiest. That's because there's not that much demand for languages other than English. And I know a lot of you probably don't want to teach English. You want to build up your careers, get some work experience, and make sure every year is not wasted. Well, in Korea there are jobs that are non-teaching jobs. There's marketing jobs, finance jobs, accounting jobs, there's all kinds of jobs. And they won't offer anything like free flights or free housing. Most of the time you have to be physically in Korea to apply for these jobs. And like I said, you probably have to prove that you're better than the Korean guys that they can find in Korea. So if you're outside of Korea and you want to come here to work, teaching is probably the best option. So if you want to get a non-English teaching job in Korea, here's a couple of suggestions. Marry a Korean person. Marrying a Korean person will allow you to work in Korea. And you'll also have beautiful half Korean babies too. Sleep with a Korean CEO. Just like any country in the world, it's all about who you know. And if you sleep with someone, you know them pretty well. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not into sleeping with as many Korean people as you possibly can, better way might be to just network professionally. Sleeping, networking. Either or. Tip number 3, learn Korean. If you speak business level Korean plus your native language, you already offer something that most Koreans can't offer. So whether you speak Tagalog, Chinese, English, or Canadian, you already have something that most Koreans can't offer, your native language. Step number 4, become a professional. Work a couple of years in your home country, get really good at what you want to do. Marketing, finance, publishing, whatever you want to do, get really good at it. you might be able to offer certain skills that can't really be found too easily in Korea. So if you're an all-star at work and you're really good at what you do, you might have a pretty good chance in Korea too. Another way might be to get hired by a company that has an office in Korea. If you can get transferred here, that might work out too. Alright, well that's about it. Tell me guys, what kind of work do you want to do in Korea? Write a comment and let me know. And don't forget to stop by Soulistic.com. Peace.
First is a very simple bow for when you meet someone. You can use this when you meet someone for the first time or someone you respect. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
So you can just tilt your head down like this. 안녕하세요. But if you do this every time when you meet a good friend, it looks weird. But if you meet your boss, co-workers, teachers, of course you should respect them. So bowing like this every day, that's okay.